So here's some, I can't really call it science, but here's some descriptions of reality based on actual science that's been done. The Earth, basically all the stuff that we expel from ourselves, get absorbed into the environment, which includes space. A lot of the stuff in the atmosphere is generated from what's going on the surface and what comes in from outside, because there's a outflow of atmosphere which also allows inflow of atmosphere. So there's always two-way flow of atmosphere. And in this definition of atmosphere, it includes the stellar atmosphere that the entire solar system is sitting in, and its inputs and outputs of atmosphere to the galaxy and the filament that we're in, that is interconnected and interacting with all the systems around us that are flying through similar filaments. So it's almost like a circulatory system with organs or cells. Actually, it's probably more apt from what we can see as cells, but the structures they make up are like organs within the galaxy. Certain elements and energies go in, and certain elements and energies go out, and all matter acts like this. There's always an input and an output. So in that respect, CO2, when they show you the videos of CO2 being pumped into the atmosphere, they're not telling you that it's not building up, because the people telling you about it are lying. They're telling you that it's at a stage that could be increasing or decreasing over time on a larger scale. When in reality, if all those, if suddenly, like what happened when the East Coast went out on power, if suddenly all the output went off for an hour, the entire atmosphere, as far as we're concerned when it comes to CO2 output, would completely clear up. All you'd see is forest fires and volcanoes. That's how retarded everything is. Basically, it's as if a bunch of activist ex I can't even put it all together to describe our society, because I can't talk about it. Our culture is sex work. That's what our freedom is. So you end up with this grown-up sex worker, and sex work starts very, very young. So a grown-up sex worker could be in their teens or their 20s. That's how early people are done with things or ready to change everything, because they know if certain things change, their time, growing up would have been better. Not different, just better. They never want to leave slavery. Anyways, so you got people like that telling everybody what they need to know in order to make things better. And 90% of it is lies. 90% of it is manipulative, exaggerated lies. The theories are biased as hell. It is not real science. It's not real science. It actually stifles science. If we were allowed to know what's actually true, life for everyone would get better and easier, and it would make a lot more sense. But things have been riding on this imaginary culture, this culture that runs completely on imagination and manipulation, and finding empowerment within that dynamic, which only a sex trader can do, or a slaver, or anybody who steps outside of the natural order of things. So the CO2 doesn't build up. The thing we've had to worry about, and the thing we still have to worry about, are toxins being added to the atmosphere that actually affect health. Everything else is just dirt waiting to happen. It doesn't fucking matter. It's like most smoke. Most smoke doesn't freaking matter. Yeah, you don't want to be in a place that's full of smoke, but we're everything on Earth evolved with it, or I should say, everything on Earth coexists with fire and smoke, just like everything on Earth coexists with wetness and rain and water. So too many people are stuck in the cities, relying completely on imagination, having no actual experience in the real world. And even their attempts to try just ends up spreading the stupidity everywhere else. Because instead of going out to normal people's places and learning what normality is and bringing it back to the city, they end up trying to bring the city everywhere else. And that's where we're at. That's why the apocalypse is right around the corner, because you got a bunch of idiots that are finally starting to see the truth, that don't have the option to actually make things better because too much is still controlled by the morons, by people who cannot let go of the fantasy because it gives them power, it gives them control. It allows them to hurt people that they don't like. It allows them to protect them from people that they think are like them, that want to hurt them. The whole thing is insanity. But that's the life inside a brothel casino. It's insanity. It's delusion, manipulation, exploitation. It's what slavery is. Slavery, what we think of as slavery is just an extreme version of it. It's the same exact dynamics up here in the head. The belief systems behind it, which are completely wrong. But that's the science of a dumbass using torture to prove a theory, or any kind of insane science. It's mad science. It's not real science. It has nothing to do with reality. It just shows that there are psychopaths out there willing to experiment on people to prove false points that are only true while they're actively manipulating, exploiting, and causing people suffering. As long as they're there, it's true, because they're the ones doing it. They're the ones altering reality to create what they believe should be true. And that's a lot of what we're living in and forced to suffer with. That's why they have to monitor us to make sure it's working. It's fucking stupid. It's YouTube. All they're doing now is trying to point fingers everywhere else. Everybody wants to remove their responsibility for supporting the people that they're currently pointing fingers at. Completely incapable of understanding the problem that they are a part of. So, because it's hard to see. It's hard to see the truth from the inside. And it's impossible to have an outside view without, it's just impossible without being some kind of outsider. Our human minds are not that complex. In order to have the inside understanding and to take that and to turn it into outside understanding, you have to be crazy and have multiple personalities, because it's impossible. It's literally impossible. I've done what I could to try to change minds, but that level of change is literally impossible. At least on a short scale. People need a long time to learn the truth in order to be able to switch over from living in an imaginary reality and accepting actual reality. And there aren't very many teachers out there for it either, because it's hard. It's like if you try to do it, people will attack you and try to destroy you. So it's not an easy thing to accomplish, trying to actually save everybody. You can't work together, otherwise they'll blow you all up. You can't talk about it together, otherwise they'll try to get you together to blow you up. I mean, it's like this shit is insanity, but it's the world that's being maintained by the people who oppose me, basically. I mean, what else is it? What else is it? Everything else is imaginary. Everything else is stuff people have made up to try to make sense of it so that they can control it. Control what? Imagine if things just started getting better and you didn't know why or notice how it happened. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? We can't have good things. The people, the people, the people who want it can't even accept it. The people who want it will fight against it when told to. So, that's just the way it is. Anyways, love y'all. Good luck.